मगर ये देश रहना चाहिए, इस देश का लोकतंत्र में रहना चाहिए।
You can do one Mumbai, you may lose Balochistan.
2, 1, 0. S139
And
motor.
this man is a horrible man. He must be shunned.
For this to count. Our job is to hit the target, not to count the body bags.
Namaste, sir. Welcome back once again. Today, sir, like we discussed, we are going to have the topic of quantum spirituality and maybe even aliens. How all of these concepts may be connected. We can explore today in this session, sir.
Yeah. So what we did in the last session that we touched on quantum theory, and we'll start with string theory today, and maybe then come to spirituality and maybe some extraterrestrials or alien stuff to end it for our users.
Yes, sir. Let's get started.
So as we discussed last time about quantum computing and quantum communication and how it is going to change the way science and technology is going to advance, and how subparticle physics is very different from bigger particle physics or the normal human and the body particles which are of bigger size than the atoms. One important theory which is again taking a lot of significance is string theory. And what happens is, as we started opening up the atomic particles of electrons, and you got photons and protons and neutrons in the center part, and the electrons are revolving as we discussed last time. As science started exploring further what is inside these protons and neutrons, there's something called as quarks which came in, and they said, okay, this is what entire matter in this universe is made of. Further, as they explored more, and the magnification and the scientific of understanding this particles improved, we found what you'll be surprised to know what was found inside quarks. Can you take a guess, Parth?
Energy.
Yes, very rightly said. So they found a string of energy in each of these quarks, which brings us to this concept that the entire universe is made of strings of energy, and this is what string theory is all about, right? In a very simplified way, though it's a very complex theory. But what it comes boils down to everything is that entire thing, what we see, what we touch, what we feel, is made of matter, and matter is made of atoms, particles, and then atoms. Atoms are made of electrons and photon and neutrons. Photon and neutrons made of quarks, and quarks is made up of energy. So whatever you're feeling actually is not matter, is energy. So like you are Parth energy and I'm Sidharth energy, right? So when Einstein says that and mass into energy conversion can only take place when you're going with the speed of light, is actually not the reality. In reality, we are all energy. So so the point is that you and me are bundle of energy having a specific spectrum. This is what string theory says, that you and me emit a specific spectrum. That is why in spirituality we say there's an halo. So what string theory and quantum theory are leading to is what Sanatana texts have been saying altogether over so many thousand years ago, that every human being has an aura and has a, and the conscience and his soul is an energy. So that is not wrong. If string theory leads us to this point that every particle in this universe is made of string of energies, so all these atoms inside quarks are strings of energies, bundles of energies, and we are all made of energy. And maybe it is just a visualization, and it's just the mind how it is perceiving your energy as a physical object. And that is what
And sir,
uh,
so then it would be fair to say that actually the ancient times when we had people describe energy, it is a different way of saying the same thing, which in today's modern science we are saying. Maybe in modern science today we are using some other terminology to describe the same thing, which was something that we discussed in
yes.
the past.
So somehow what I feel is whatever there all our Vedic texts have been, they have written now, our ancient sages have written them, is actually derived from some uh, futuristic science which they were already aware. Now, if you see the Kumbh Mela which happens in Prayagraj, it is because Jupiter reaches at certain point of time in above Prayagraj, and every 12 years that is a motion. How did they know the motion of the planets? No, the Earth is not flat and is round. Galileo, just 200 years ago, he came to know, and it's not sun is which is revolving around Earth. It's actually Earth which is revolving around sun. So effectively, our Panchang and as such, they all talk of planets. They all talk. So effectively, if you see, if you go through our Vedic texts, initially when we were young, we were told yes, a bakwas, and what actually is science. Now, what I find is the string theory and the quantum theory on these futurist theories, which are very different from the classical physics theories of classical physics, are leading to what Sanatan was saying over thousands of years ago. Even the theories of multiverse and multi-universe cosmos is actually uh, been given in various hints in various Vedic texts. The concept of multiverse in Ramayana, they have touched it, that there are multiple Rams, there are multiple Hanumans. So all these concepts, which the movies, new movies, what do you call that? What verse? Marvel universe and
Multiverse, Marvel multiverse.
multiverse actually was already there in Ramayana, Mahabharata. They have already given that Ram is Rama, God, Lord Rama is dying, and Hanumanji turns into an ant-man, goes into Patal Lok, and he's searching for the ring of Ram, and he finds there's a heap of ring, and in Patal Lok, they say that there are multiple Hanumans which are coming, multiple Rams, and further, it is also coming that time is not linear; it is cyclic. So if you see our Sanatan text, they don't talk of time as linear. They say that Satyug, Dwapar Treta Yug, Kali Yug, it is a cycle. Maybe we are on 52nd or 53rd. I may not be right with the figure. It is all revolving. So every time Ram is, see, if you see in Satyug, Ram is there, Hanuman is there. Hanumanji stays back. And if you see, there are seven Chiranjeevis which are said will live all through the 4 years, and in Kali Yuga only they'll help Kali, fight the demon. So what I'm trying to say is many things of multi-universe, multiverse are already there in a Sanatana text. We may initially not agree with it, but when science is letting us to the same logic, we may agree with what was there. And there may be a concept that there is a series, Ancient Aliens, which talks that all the gods which we assume are coming from a different world, they may be actually aliens. And even in our Vedic text, it is said that every god is coming from a different planet. And there are good gods are good for positive energy forces which are helping us, and the asurs are the bad ones. So the point is, all these concepts make actually bring this fact that the people, the gods we worship, are actually alien forces, and we may come to a fact wherein the aliens theory may come true. So I think I've written these concepts in my book, which I mentioned last time also, and this is a very sleek book, Astral Matrix, written by me. It touches these topics like whether God exists or not. I have touched quantum theory and string theory to a very limited extent, and about aliens, gods and aliens, how AI and spirituality is linked. So all these chapters I've tried to cover in my book in separate chapters, all these concepts, and this is available on Amazon if Parth can help our viewers to read this book. Yeah, anybody can scan, and just order this book and just have a read of whatever we are discussing is given in some detail in the book. So coming back to this setup, Path, what do you feel? Isn't a modern future? I should not say modern, which is futuristic science like quantum and string theory are leading to our ancient Sanatan text and giving the same concepts.
Definitely. I mean, I can say perhaps, with today's science, we can say maybe they did not have the tools to articulate what is that they were saying or record what it is they were saying. But maybe it is fair to say that some of these concepts may be from the past, which is lost knowledge to us. Meaning, maybe it
Yes,
existed at one point, but due to some conflict, due to some natural disaster, because the population of the world was much lower at that time compared to today, we can say that it might have been lost knowledge that perhaps it is only for a few. Like in every great civilization, there is a some story or a fable or myth of a flood which has come, through all of the different ones which exist, all the major religions or major particular spirituality discussions are there. So this flood myth is always there, and even the archaeological record reflects that to be true. So if we can consider that to be the case, or a theory, if it is possible, then in this case it could be that we knew about these things, but then because of natural disaster or something like that, it got wiped away. It
So
is entirely
we have lost the literatures on it. Now let's come back to our discussion on quantum communication and quantum entanglement. In Mahabharata, they say Sanjay could see what was happening in the battlefield. What if I have a entangled photon and I put those particles there in the battlefield, and here sensing the other twin, I can see or I can visualize what is happening there. So scientifically, whatever has been said, which 2-3 decades ago we used to say this is all bullshit or this is all nonsense. Actually, with quantum physics and string theory, we can put everything logical. We can say yes, soul exists, the bundle of as per string theory, and every soul is emanating a specific frequency and spectrum, and that's how we say our pets and dogs see the halo behind every human being and know whether this halo is good, positive, or negative. So these things are falling in place if you use these futuristic theories, which are not theory right now, they are actually proof. Quantum computers are reality. Quantum entanglement is already produced in reality. So the point is that slowly, if you find even in CERN lab, they have been able to open up. Yeah.
And for the audience, this is the image of a entangled photon.
Yes, yes. So this is where entangled photon, I say Ram and Sham theory. If you have two twins who are identical in spin and in energy levels, and you transmit one to a Mars and keep the other here, you can actually see what is happening in Mars, or you can actually feel the temperature and pressure. And other. So our science is still evolving. We limit our understanding to where science has gone. When aircrafts started flying somewhere, the Red Indians thought in the US, they thought there's some god which is coming, right? And they started worshipping those
I think sir is
aircrafts.
talking about Native American people.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that whenever a high technology equipment or is demonstration is given for the general people, they assume it is God, and that is why you see even if in our Vedic text you find every god has a uh, aircraft which is in the shape of some animal, because as human beings we can only relate this technology to some animal we've seen on ground, the shape कि यार ये ना शेर की तरह लग रहा है, or this looks like some a peacock. What I'm trying to say is for
We
the
can say it
ignorant
is a
one,
vahan or a vimana.
yeah, Vimana. So what I'm trying to say, every god has a Vimana. And further, we do not, as Abrahamic texts they have singularity. There's only one God, there's one document. In Sanatana Vedic text, we've got multiple gods and there are multiple sources of energy, right? And effectively, we keep hearing these news that Om ka noise is like what noise you hear in the universe. And then what other theories which have come is that in space travel, we say this planet is so many light years away, but actually space is not in a linear fashion the way we think. It is like a cloth which can be folded, so there are some shortcuts, right? So the travel may not be the way we are assuming, because we see every space in 3 dimension. It is there are even in string theory there are more than 10, 11 dimensions. So
And
time may
sir,
be a
I,
dimension,
I
and
think I think they say that because space time has a nature where, like you said, it is not linear. Maybe time is the
yeah,
fourth dimension, where if we are able to somehow manipulate the space, then we can also manipulate time. That is also maybe one
yes,
theory which is there.
yes, yes. So you can warp things. The space is warped, and then there is the enormity of space is huge. There are multiple universes, multiple. So the point is that we are too small and too ignorant to know what is happening in this universe. So somewhere you relate this to God, and then you say no, God is an imaginary figure. No, actually, if you see, if you put this alien theory and you put these concepts, you find everything is falling in place. So effectively, science and spirituality are merging with these new developments.
I think, sir, as a question, since uh, I am an engineer. I think about these things from an experimental standpoint. I'm like,
Yeah.
if somehow we manage that, we can warp the space, and we can
Mhm.
perhaps send something. So like, it would be so scary that the first time that somebody does it, where is that thing going to end? Like, whatever probe you send towards the other side, like, of course we cannot send a human because we have to be safe, but some inanimate object that we will send across, we have to get the message back, right, if we are expecting. So like, just that
How you know?
thought
Okay,
sounds
my
very
question
super
to you
interesting.
is, you're going by this assumption that we don't know, how you know that these messages being are received and they are not answered back intentionally. What if I say Earth is a place where human species are an experiment? There are some theories which say that human species are so different. You see, any animals, their children, they start walking immediately. Why do human children, babies, they take so many years to stand and walk? There are theories which take us to this point that humans species is not from this earth, it has been planted. Secondly, if you see the moon, why it is on a tidal lock, why don't we see the other side of the moon? Okay, why it is so clearly isolated? Further, if I tell you the distance between the ratio between the earth and the moon and the earth and the sun is somewhere coming to a figure of 108, which we do in our Vedic text, we take 108 as a very important number. What I'm trying to say, there is so many mysteries around. They say that Mars was once inhabited. So there are theories which are coming in that Mars has those rivers, and Mars, there was a nuclear explosion which happened in Mars. So there are various reasons why we have to believe that there are more species existing and we are not the only one. And there
So
are
just a matter of probability itself. I think it is like a given truth that there is an alien species. Now,
yes.
whether it is a, hyper intelligent alien species is a question, because I think people are talking about something called the Fermi paradox, where if so many of these alien species and intelligent alien species do exist, why do we see that
Okay.
suddenly they
I,
are
I have mentioned this Fermi paradox and this concept in my book also, in the chapter "Does God Exist or Not?" So there is a paper, mathematical, as per probability. You said the probability, there are three probabilities. So either there is a species which is much below our, and we are quite advanced to them. This is first probability. Second is the species, alien species, at par with us, and the third is they're too advanced than us. The probability of the third is nearly 90%. Had And the first is less, and the second is minimal, because agar there had been some species which was at par with us, we would have surely happened to cross our paths with them. So the possibility, as per any probability and Fermi paradox, there are so many theories which I mentioned in my book, that our species are much we are quite at a basic level, and there are advanced species which are beyond us which exist. And as there are as many planets as there are sand particles on a beach, so you can imagine how many planets are there in this multiverse and multi-universe. So there, the possibility of having an earth like situation is very very high. So every logical in every logical way, or as an engineer we know, we can by probability say that there has to be some species which is existing and we are not aware, or either it doesn't want us to be aware of them because we may feel threatened. And as per Baba Vanga and what is the other prophecy guy, Baba Vanga and Nostradamus. Okay, as per Nostradamus and Baba Vanga, in 2027 the world will know that aliens are already staying along around us. This is not some vague theory. And even in Sanatan text, as Bhavishya Malika, 2030 is the end of our Kali, as brought in Bhavishya Malika, which is a text written in Orissa by saints from the south, and they mention each events and how it will progress. And now these wars, many things have been predicted. So you never know that aliens were already in contact with the civilization, and US being the pioneer in technology, they were already having. And if I'm not wrong, Mexico had done a press conference where they had demonstrated that we already had an alien with us, and then that feed was removed from YouTube. So there are so many conspiracy theories already going around. UFO sightings, okay, those signs on the farm fields, okay, why they are coming, nobody knows. So actually, there is something which people are hiding, or the organization hiding, because we're not prepared to accept that there are aliens. We are in contact with alien species. There are also conspiracy theories that Elon Musk is in possession of some, and that is how his technologies are much ahead of our times. So these are conspiracy theories, but with the modern futuristic theories of today, we can say that there is a possibility that these conspiracy theories are true. What do you say, Path? You're mute. Yeah, I think you're still mute.
Okay, yes. So I was saying that the idea that it can be true is tantalizingly the case that what may happen. Like,
Scary.
it is a movie. Like, one can think about, if in our lifetime we understand that aliens are here, then
But
that
if
is
I,
the.
yeah,
I'm saying,
I was just trying to tell your point. In 2027, as per the prophecies of Sanatan, Bhavishya Malika, and Nostradamus, and Baba Vanga, in 2027, if the US government announces that, or NASA announces, yes, for knowledge of everybody, we have been in contact with aliens, and we went to moon, and we had an encounter with aliens, and that's why we did not go to moon for the last 50 years. Actually, our entire thought process will change about our existence.
no,
You and
I
me, we
guess
start thinking.
I guess the day that they tell us about these things will be the first day of the life of humanity as a new species entirely. Because if
Yes,
we
yes.
if we think
We
about
start thinking about ourselves very differently. We'll not think the
yes,
way we think. Yeah, we are the Superman, and we are the people who are actually controlling this world. There's only one world. This entire theory finishes. This single world, single species theory, and then we have to start imagining our existence in this universe, and then we may actually start believing on various concepts of Sanatan text and other texts which say yes, we have already been telling you कि ऐसा है. And there are theories that there are worlds within our inside our earth, which some scientific theories have proposed, and it is there in our text. Patal lok is there. There are 7 different loks if you go by Vedic text. So actually we are leading towards what these Vedic texts have been telling us for so many years.
yeah. And it's very crazy that like people say that conspiracy theories are there, but the thing is that most theories are conspiracy theories until that they are proven right. For a
Yes.
long time, people were talking about different things that happened. Oh, it was a conspiracy theory, but then it turned out to be true.
No,
you know
if you see Trump, he's a straightforward guy. He was asked that Obama was talking about some UFO and alien site Area 51. He said he shouldn't be talking about it because I don't want to speak about it. The point is there's something being hidden. Why should somebody be so protective when it is away from even the president of US?
and I think they also made some announcements about UFOs with the
Yes.
Pentagon records right when there was the island files that they had released. So on that, based on that, they
So
wanted to distract
the,
the public so that they
the
were talking
other
about aliens.
not believers say no, these are just meant to digress from the main topic. But there are UFO sightings. There are farm signs which are there, which are made, which are not man-made. There are interviews in on Facebook of aliens which have tried to, who've been captured. Their aircraft have been captured. There have been sightings, unnatural sightings. So questions are there, but if you see how string theory and quantum theory and Sanatan texts are pointing, it leads to the fact that very soon, in why I should say your lifetime, in a year or two, we may find some new facts which actually may excite the scientists and engineers in us, and maybe scare the common men who feel that they were living in a totally different world.
And like major news outlets are also covering this. Like, for example, I was seeing this report from NBC News that they were. And I will take it with a pinch or mountain of salt, but still people are talking about it. if you see this one right here, like these are some incredible claims that some people are making,
Yes.
and it seems an outlandish thing, but people are talking about nevertheless. Now it has become relatively
People are,
fashionable for people to
yeah,
discuss this.
people are talking on matrix glitch. You find people going and missing out, time travelers. You tell me why suddenly these things have come into prominence? Because I think the government of the day are preparing you for the unexpected, the unknown.
Eventuality,
Yeah.
the
So
eventuality.
they are preparing you through social media that you men should not get a shock when you know, yes, we there are other species in this universe and we are in contact, and it is normal to know that they exist between us. So yeah, that is how we should end this podcast today on this note. What do you say, Parth?
Definitely, sir. I think that quite sums up what we
So
wanted to cover. So,
exciting times are ahead, or rather, just in the near future. Huh?
sir, there is. I'll leave you with a Chinese proverb which says, "May you live in interesting times." This
Yeah.
is
So
so
nice talking, and this is
that is
quite good.
that is what the Chinese call an insult. But
So these topics are very close to my heart, and again I say just have a read on my book, and you'll find something which opens your mind to a certain extent, at
right,
least
sir.
initially it will give. So aliens, AI, and all those topics are slightly covered in various chapters.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Parth, for this interesting and topic very close to my heart. And God bless everybody, and hope we are ready for the exciting times ahead.
Yes, sir. Jain, sir.
Jai Hind.